Before we get started, one more thing. If you want to get any PE gear, be sure to check out TotalManShop.com. That is TotalManShop.com. And use the promo code MHS2020. Promo code is MHS2020 and get 12% off. Be sure to check out their wide variety of all kinds of good quality PE equipment. All right? And that's promo code MHS2020 for 12% off. And the website, once again, is TotalManShop.com. Welcome to another episode here at the Masculine Health Solutions podcast. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I hope you guys are doing really, really well. And I hope you're not getting involved with any of the toxicity around in this world and all the madness that's happening. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know, it almost seems like a charade at this point with all kinds of madness going on. You got actors slapping each other. You got all kinds of other nuttiness. If you're on Twitter, dear Lord, I try to avoid that place because sometimes it's just too negative for my liking. However, that is where I connect with certain peoples, right? People come to me through Twitter, and that's why I kind of keep that avenue open, and I'm still on it. However, I do see a lot of madness on there, and I do try to just avoid it because I'm like, man, I don't want to see all this negativity, all this nuttiness. I want to stay on a positive vibe, and that's kind of one of the things that I do want to focus on with the Masculine Health Solutions podcast, and going to have a lot of interesting episodes in regards to vibration, frequency, and a lot of things that I think that, they may escape us. However, they are still very important to us being in the best and most optimal health possible. And speaking about optimal health, was talking to one of my clients about, fat loss and this, that, and the other. And he told me, that we should probably discuss more of that. And I said, that much is true, and that's one thing that I've kind of not put on the back burner, but just kind of been focusing more on writing about PE. You guys do go to the website, masculinehealthsolutions.com. I got a lot of good free content there. And, still working more on the fitness side of things as well. But I'm doing that just coaching people one-on-one. And if you are interested, do reach out to me. I am going to be setting up more stuff in that regard in the very near future. However, one of the things that came up is that, in my discussions with him and kind of journaling and writing some stuff down, I kind of want to basically run you guys through, my process when it comes to getting people to lose weight, because it's always something that comes up and it's a constant. A lot of people don't even know where to begin. A lot of people don't know, where to start. A lot of people hear about, you should do this diet versus you should do that diet. Versus if you're not vegan, you're killing the world. You're killing cows left, right, and center. And if you're not consuming this pea protein, guess what? Your testosterone levels are plump. Nah, you know what? It's all a bunch of mythical fairy tale kind of approach, and it's dogmatic. When it comes to nutrition, man, you got to be open, to different ways of eating. Just because one dude eats one way doesn't mean that another dude should eat the exact same way. If a Vietnamese guy consumes food and all of a sudden a Westerner looks at it and he's like, nah, that right there, that's a horrible way to eat. And maybe the Vietnamese guy will look at, the Caucasian dude from North America and say, nah, his way of eating is wrong and blah, blah. And people just get too dogmatic. They get territorial. And my whole thing is we have to learn how to embrace everybody's way of eating. However, we should concentrate more than anything on ourselves. That's right. Focus on who you are and not, different types of trends that are happening in the industry. And that's kind of one of the things that I really took away from Di Manuel when he was talking about, people and their diets. And, it's almost like it becomes religious. I'm like, bro, let's put that nonsense aside. You don't want to be killing people over what diet they eat or that culture is wrong. Like, because I've heard everything when it comes to diet. I heard one dude today talking about how you don't need to consume protein. Heard another guy say that it takes 4 years to digest protein. Heard another guy say that cancer is a direct result of us eating fish. Like, it just gets more ridiculous the further you go down that rabbit hole. However, the one thing that I do want to address here is truths, right? My whole purpose of Masking Health Solutions is for us to find truth amongst all the BS that exists. And man, it is hard because just finding a kernel of truth in this day and age is extremely difficult, especially when it comes to nutrition. And as soon as everybody starts selling you stuff, then you kind of know they're like, okay, what does this guy want to sell me? Oh, he wants to sell me collagen, or this guy wants to sell me some type of, I don't know, probiotic plus. Or this one's trying to sell me vitamin K. And I'm like, you know what? That's all fine and dandy, but I don't want to sign up to your diet, right? And like I've said before, the best way to approach anything is always to get personalized coaching, right? And that's kind of what I did to get started as well. I'm like, okay, well, what I got to do, man? Talk to a nutritionist, be like, oh, snap, I didn't realize I was consuming this many calories here. I didn't realize I'm not getting enough protein, right? So, what I want to do is basically run through a series that I'm going to call, the fat loss, uh, like just blueprint, I guess, man, because these are laws that you can't escape, right? And the first one that we're going to talk about today, this is my first law. This right here is going to be the Masculine Health Solutions law number one. And law number one is all about observing what you are eating on a daily basis, right? That right there is the number one key. Everybody and all the craziness can be going on in the world. It does not matter because you are a singular, you are you. There is no escaping you. I mean, for the time being, while you're in this third dimensional realm that is the planet Earth, you are living here in this physical body, right? And you got to know how your body works, but you also got to know what you're taking in. And a lot of people don't know what they're taking in. And I've know this because I sit down, I have conversations with them. I'm like, hey, bro, what are you eating, man? And they're like, oh, I'm not really sure. And I'm like, do me a favor, man. And this is what I recommend to you guys, because I'm all about solutions. I'm not about the fluff. I don't really care about fluff, about selling. No, no, no. This is what you got to do if you really want to get started and you're serious about your weight loss journey, right? Number one thing that you got to do is download my fitness pal. It's completely free. Before you say, I got an affiliate. No, no, no. I got no ties to these people. However, they have a spectacular product that I use almost every day. Actually, take that back. I've used it every day for the past like 80 days in a row. And the reason I do it is to keep me conscious of what I'm consuming, which is why I'm recommending it right now to you guys. You have to know what you're consuming, right? And if you pair that up with the episode, remember the episode I did called The Fat Loss Silver Bullet? And a lot of people wrote back to me and said, hey, man, I was expecting it to be a supplement or something. I'm like, no, it's not a supplement, bro. And like I was saying before in that episode, the weight loss silver bullet is going to be a food scale. You have to know what you're consuming. If you can't quantify it, you have no idea how much you're taking in. You don't know how much you're expending. You have to know exactly what's coming in. Because if you're 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight, listen, usually that compounds over years. And if you continue down that road, like unfortunately, way too many guys are. I mean, I think over 50% of men right now are obese, if not overweight. And I think I think the number by 2030 is like some ridiculous, like 60% of the population is going to be obese, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just throwing it out there. However, you can beat that. That does not have to be you. Right. And the easiest way to go about that right now, as I said before, is to start off by just tracking absolutely everything you put in your body. And you got to make sure that you weigh it as well. This will give you, not only will it serve to show you exactly how much you're consuming and the caloric content and the macro content, which will force you to really educate yourself when it comes to nutrition, because you'll be able to actually see it displayed on your cell phone, in real time, which will totally deter you from, hey, maybe I shouldn't eat that that ice cream that I really wanted to eat, or whatever, unfortunately, highly palatable food that's got way too many calories in it that you may be drawn to, right? What tracking your food does is really show you your sins. To put it, bluntly. And I mean, this goes for me too. I thought for myself, I was using a dressing for a while and I love mayonnaise. I used to just drown my salads in mayonnaise. And I came full circle when I realized, I'm like, man, I just put 600 calories worth of mayonnaise on the salads I had made today. And for me, that was kind of a wake up call, and I try to make the excuse of, I'm like, well, it's keto. But then I'm like, shoot, man, I'm over consuming 200 calories a day. This is no good. And so what it did is to really serve me as a north star, if you will. You know, it really shows you exactly what you're eating, and it shows you that maybe you should probably lay off, you know, anything that you find to be mad delicious, but it's giving you a whole bunch of empty calories. And those empty calories that you consume will then lead you to you eating more because unfortunately you're like, ah, man, I'm still hungry, bro. And if you had replaced that with maybe some steak, yeah, you probably wouldn't be as hungry and you'd probably be a little bit more satiated and you'd probably be taking in a lot more good micronutrients. Hence the reason why, you know, step one, you know, is track your food, know exactly what's coming in, right? And MyFitnessPal makes it super easy. They got a million different foods on that friggin' app. I mean, it blows my mind. They got food from all over the world, man. Like I was showing my Indian buddy, and he's like, "Bro, he's like, there's no way it's gonna have naan pakora or this or that." And then he started just going off, and then he took my phone, man. I'm like, "Hey, bro, give me back my phone, man." He was all excited. He was just typing in everything. He's like, "Bro, it's got everything." I'm like, "Yeah, all you need is a scale so you can weigh. Now give me back my phone." And he did eventually, right? But he was very impressed, and you know, I was impressed too when I first started using it. I could type in anything, man. Food from Poland, you know, food from Latin America, African dishes, anything. I mean, it's honestly probably one of the most impressive apps that I've ever used in my life. And, you know, on the phone that I'm using right now, I got it again. I downloaded it and I just got a new phone and I was able to transfer everything onto it. Again, if you want to kick it old school, there's always, you know, you can just journal your food, but you want to make sure you are tracking it. So that, my friends, is going to be stage one, tracking your food. Know exactly what's coming in. Learn about it, man. Don't be scared to look into, you know, what's in that bag of Doritos. Fortunately, the bag of Doritos got absolutely nothing but garbage in it, but it's still good for you to know exactly what you're eating, man. So be sure to track your food. All right. And it doesn't matter how you go about it, the way that you decide to go about it, man, up to you. But I definitely go with MyFitnessPal. And before you do anything else, you know, it's going to teach you, it's going to be, you know, a big revelation for as to why you may be gaining weight or, you know, maybe you're like, snap, man, I just realized that I should be consuming about 2,700, maybe 2,500 calories. And I think I'm consuming 3,500. Help, you know, and that right there is stage one, guys. And like I said before at the beginning of this episode, is that everybody's different, right? So it's always good to go with a tailor-made plan, individualized, you know, specified specifically for you, because you, my friend, are going to be completely different from the guy next to you, unless, you know, he's related. But even then, you know, there's always going to be differences. So again, get started off, start tracking your food. That is stage one. That's where we're going to start this series. And, you know, I'm not using any technical jargon. I'm making it very, very simple. And you know what? This is for your typical dude who just wants to, you know, get started, start losing weight. You know, this isn't going to go into the intricacies needed to get to like under 10% body fat. Yeah, this isn't for a bodybuilding competition. This is more for that healthy, you know, 10 to 15% range. Or generally speaking, most of the guys I work with are just like, hey, I want to see my abs. And I'm like, hey, that's not a problem, bro. But this right here is how you have to get started. Fortunately, there's no escape. You got to know exactly what's coming in so you can make the proper lifestyle changes that will lead to your success. So, number one, again, track everything you are consuming, my friend. Everything. So that way you know exactly how many calories you're taking in, you know your macronutrients, you learn about fats. And again, MyFitnessPal makes it super, super, super simple. So, with that being said, that concludes step one. Step two will be coming out soon. Prepare yourselves. It'll be more of the same, but you know, when it comes to losing weight, it is simple, but it is difficult. And I hope that I can simplify it to the point where anybody can pick this up and start applying it to their lives right away. And hopefully, you know, I can see a lot of guys get in shape, you know, just from using these very, very simple tips. All right. Well, that concludes this episode. Until the next episode of the Masculine Health Solutions podcast, I will see you then.